Yes, people, it's another episode of Truth and Banter. It's your boy Flash. We got Big J in the back.
Whoa.
And today we got Robyn Travis, people. Now if you don't know, and it's a pleasure to have Robyn Travis on there today.
Love, bro.
Come on, bro. Definitely big.
Every time.
Big. If you don't know about Robyn, you should know.
Yeah.
But today's episode is about community recognition. So it's about people getting recognition in the community. If you don't know, Robyn Travis has got a couple books out. This is his first book, Prisoner to the Streets. This is like probably the biggest underground book out there right now, which is actually helping a lot of people which are stuck in that mentality of street life, etc. And it's been good. It's been getting good reviews. I see it. I've been seeing it everywhere. So let me ask you, see when someone reads this book, yeah? What did you intend for them to get out of it after the reader, when they leave after reading it?
That's a good question. Very good. You kind of hit me for six there.
So I know when you had it,
yeah,
there was a reason why you wrote it. It's Prisoner to the Streets, so it's talking about people that's
no. I get a question. I'm just thinking, it's such a well asked question. In my mind, I'm thinking when I wrote the book, it was, what did I want the reader to leave with? So, in a, what's that word? In a made up world, you read the book, you put it down. Everything that you believed in about the things you were doing on the street, you now start to just reflect and sit down and say, yeah, we have taken losses on this side, we have taken losses on that side, but there is no winners in war, no matter how much I come back for you. And that hopefully bring that reader to the understanding that it's like a hamster on a wheel. So it's better we stop now while we're not ahead, because we could take more losses and still end up at the same realization that we need to stop. So I guess that's what I wanted the reader to get, but that's enough.
So bring some enlightenment and awareness to people. Is it just for people that's stuck in the streets, or can it affect people that's not stuck in the streets if they read it? Funny enough,
this book, because we said underground, and definitely I agree it's underground, but we've done some powerful, because we're talking about recognition, but I won't get too much into it.
We're going to get into it.
What I was going to just briefly say is quite well known in the literacy world.
Okay.
So it's quite well, so without saying too much about the recognition, we've done events like, wow, I can't even think of the names, I've come blank on it. It's up
no, you've done one event in Hackney Empire?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking...
I'm
thinking Cheltenham Literacy Festival, Harrogate Literacy Festival. So these are the... Because I'm not used to these areas, it's like, it took me a minute, but these are quite exquisite places for first-time authors to be able to... You don't see first-time authors getting on... Quite exquisite. You don't see authors from, not just from where we come from, but authors from any background in their first book get a seat at that table. But yeah, so for me it's a blessing that it can be understood by people from middle class or Cheltenham. You understand what I'm saying to you? When I was on a panel there wasn't any black people there. I was the only black person in the building. And it was like, so to know that they had read the book prior and had questions to ask, so I was like, you know what, this book is really connecting to an audience who don't even know about Hackney.
No, I hear you, so definitely. Alright, some people might read and be like, you might be glorifying the street life to get a step, to make some money. What would you say to them people?
I think I'm at a place now I don't even care what people say, man. I think when you're real, it shows itself. Your heart speaks volumes. It doesn't make you perfect. Like, I know my imperfections mad. However, when your heart is bigger than your ego, it shows. So I don't, that even people with that type of mindset to think that, I know that they wouldn't have ever come across me on my work, because you can't act
No, 100%.
To get emotional when you're delivering talks at prisons, and you can't. I'll tell you one thing. This is random, mad random, but I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to share it with people. You can't even the breakdowns you have while revisiting your past. Yeah. When I first wrote this book, I remember there was an event with Chris Levy, my brethren, his little brother, rest in peace, with Robert Levy, who got killed in Hackney Empire, outside Hackney Empire, Hackney Town Hall. I think they were doing a memorial event for their son. Now, I wanted to come and promote my book before it came out in Hackney Empire. I was like, yo, I'm from the hood, yeah. And going back to write this book took me to a dark place. Because although I went back and wrote the book, things that I didn't put in the book somehow came to my memory surface. Okay. So things that I wanted to put in the coffin and...
Were you talking about street life stuff or personal
both
stuff? Okay.
Both. I've seen some things in-house and out-house. And things that I wanted to kind of put the nail in the coffin to and never really have to dig that up again. Because that's how I get through life. Okay. Like, people think I use a strong man, but no, I know I've learned from young I had to just put things in bottles and just leave them with a corkscrew. So whatever trauma,
but when you put stuff in the bottle and put it in a corkscrew, don't they at some point in your life resurface, as you were saying when you write the book?
You learn that, is what I'm saying. So along the process, I found that a lot of those bottles was popping open. Yeah. And you look in the mirror, you see yourself, you see a reflection of yourself. We hear ourselves talking now, we might watch this back and hear ourselves talking, but this is only one side of us. This is the side where we're acting professional being, you know what I'm saying to you, but then everyone's got more than one side to them, and no one likes to admit their ugly side. No one likes to admit their side, which makes them less of a man. So you know when you're falling short as a man and you don't feel like a man and you can't be a man of your word even. So we all show these different faces, and
is that part? Would you say that's part of being a prisoner?
It could be attached to it, definitely, in many cases. Yeah, thank you. But in terms of answering the question you're saying, I feel like I put all these things in certain bottles, and when they started to open, my ugly side came out. I saw my temper. Okay. At home, not just while writing a book on the mother of my children. I saw the way I was dealing with people who said anything against my story. Okay. Like, or who.
So it helped you reflect as well.
Not at the time. At the time, I didn't know I was having what you call a breakdown or something. Okay. I thought I was just going through writing a book. So what I'm saying, leading back to Hackney Empire, I wanted to promote my book, and I thought, wow, how am I going to promote this book? I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go Hackney Empire and talk on stage, read a poem. Now, first of all, I don't do poems. Who the hell told me to write a poem? I always felt like that came from something up top. I wrote a poem before writing a book, and it just came out. 5 minutes in a room, the sad truth. There's no such thing as equal opportunities, and I go on, I can't even remember it now, but it was like, it starts off there, and it's called the sad truth. So all these things was happening to me when writing the book, and I thought, let me go and do this poem. And in a million years, I could never see me doing a poem, not just on stage in the Empire, but just to myself. So already I knew that I was either super passionate, I really care that much, or like the question you asked me before, I really want to make it so I can get rich, and I'll do a poem in the Empire so people can, either way. But anyway, it's like, I hollered my brethren's dad and said, can I do this poem? When I spoke to him, he said to me, you can't do the poem. And at the time when he said I can't do the poem, I was quite offended. I was like, why? He said, because I heard about you. I said, what do you mean? He said, I heard you got into beef the other day. And I was like, fuck, did I get into beef the other day? I ain't been in beef for years. But then he was right, I did. Because big up all the Holly Street man, but there was a time when I moved to the whole of Holly Street whilst writing this book. Because I heard people.
What do you mean you moved to them? You tried to have beef with them?
Not in a bragful way, like I said. Big up all my man, them we're all brothers now. But
yeah.
they all know we spoke about this. Yeah. This is real spit. Like it's not a secret. We reason about this on the phone. There was a taste in the air about someone from my area, and he produced the book and they didn't like it. Yeah, he was my boy.
Okay.
Supposedly he's working with Babylon. Okay. And he wrote a book and he said a few things that they didn't like by calling our names and whatever. So he was still my brethren at the time. I didn't believe that he was doing any of the things they were saying anyway. I was blind loyalty. And even as today, I can't speak and say, only he knows. I don't like to talk for what another man does.
So they was basically upset with you because they thought you was associated with basically someone that was informing. Yeah,
so like I said, for me it was like, how can I, when I put the book out, I spoke to them, I said, yeah, someone I stabbed from my own end. I was like, bro, I'm going to talk about that stabbing area. You want to write your part? I'm going to tell people I did what I did to you. And I spoke to like, that's me, I'm straight up. I don't do this dilly-dallying around. I go straight to people. Everyone was like, no, cool, Trav, write your thing. 100, like, we know you was about this. Cool. Wrote the book. Started hearing that people were saying things. That it's going to be a snitch book or before the book's even come out. The book ain't even come out yet.
Okay.
And I had a mental breakdown. This is around the time, I'm going to link it back to Anthony Empire in a second. I've heard they were doing a rap video around my area. And I don't know what upset me. If I remember correctly, it was something about Fuck Fields Boys on someone's Instagram, no, Blackberry. It was Blackberry them time. And it was one of the Holly Street boys saying it. Now, I'm a Holly Street boy. I should have never got offended by this. But I think I got frustrated because I'm like, right, you lot are my ops then. Because I'm trying to stop this beef.
Okay,
and you're saying fuck these. And then I hear you're talking about my book on top of that. So I found two reasons to kind of behave the way I behaved. But long story short, I went around the area, I picked up a kitchen there from some of my people's yard without telling them, fell out with them. That was disrespectful of me. I had a spaz that I come out the yard.
Was this when the book?
Just before the book come out, bro. Okay. So this is a story I've never even spoke about like, openly. But yes, I spazzed that. Went around the ends. Looked for everybody. They did a rap video. I was like, I was a bit cheeky at the time. I played some mugs, turned up mugs when they were doing their rap video to wind them up to get a response. But the man, they know me. We grew up together, so they know that I won't start it, but once you start it, I can act AWOL. So I was acting out of character, but in character, as the prisoner I used to be. So, yeah, but then we spoke about it. Enough police come around the ends, but we didn't kick off. It was actually ended in a good way.
Okay.
Where instead of me doing anything mad, there was a fight. It wasn't with me. There was a fight with someone else. It was hilarious, but I stopped someone from getting stabbed.
Okay.
I went to fight a few of the youngers because I was like, yo, do you lot know? Like, I have ego again. Do you lot know who I am? Like, do you know that you're safe out here because of people like me, and you're looking at me when I drive through?
Yeah, hey.
Huh?
Do you feel like where we come from, we care too much about each other's opinions?
As a prisoner, yeah. And that's why I said when you asked me the question earlier, I don't really care what people think. My reason, but back then everything mattered. Okay. So even when I'm writing the book and having this breakdown, my internal conflicts happening now. In the book I call it Voice of the Street. So what's happening now is I'm caring that the youngers don't fucking rate me. I'm caring that the olders are forgetting that man put mad work out here. And this is all the prisoners' mindset.
You see the work that we put in that gets put in on the road, yeah? Does it matter?
Sorry, say that again?
See the work that gets put in on the road, does it matter?
See the work that gets put in on the road, what do you mean?
You see the work that gets put in
No, in that mindset, no. Hell, bruv, as I'm talking to you in two tones to the people in case they get misconstrued as well. In two tones. In that of a mind of a prisoner, and that as a mind of someone who's trying to not think like a prisoner. That's me today. Like but then there's still certain...
You feel you're free of it, yeah? You're free
not completely, but in a way where I'm not a danger to nobody else, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
let me answer the question, sorry, before I lose, but thank you. I've gone round there, I've acted out of character. Long story short, kissed and made up, whatever they call it. And police are coming, we were still friends, we were spudding each other, we were reasoning like men. In fact, I respected it. Let me get back to that. What we did was, imagine I don't like you, Jay, and you said something, I'm coming to you now. And I'm saying, well, I heard boom, 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 and then you're saying, and then everyone got to call out everyone. And I'm like, well, bro, you gave me my man's address to lick down these people, his brother. And we had an honest,
okay. And
then it was like, so I was like, you lot snap. And then we settled it like men. We were young, because that book came out 10 years ago. So we were young. Okay. And my thing was, when I got away from that, I didn't realize I was having a breakdown.
Yeah.
So about a week after, I'm at Hackney Empire trying to ask Chris Levy's dad to let me perform. He's telling me no because he heard I had beef last week, and that was what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, is that what I did? And it's like I almost forgot. And this is when I'm like, yo, am I having two different lives where I can't remember when I'm behaving like fucking Incredible Hulk, and then it's not like I'm carrying that beef into tomorrow. So in the hood it was like, yeah, you heard Robyn come around here and disrespected the rap video, man was doing our thing, and he's come and said fuck the rap video. I didn't even remember none of that. And I'm saying to you, that's where the breakdown happened. And the next week I'm on stage, sorry, not on stage, I'm asking the guy to let me go on stage. I had to beg him and say, you know what, Pops, that was a one-off, whatever you heard, it didn't happen the way you said. And he said, you know what, son, come true. And then when I got to go for it, I was like, yeah, I don't even want to do a poem in public. I never even used to do school plays in school. I'm an introvert at heart. All this camera shit, you know what I'm saying to you? So it's like, to come out of that for the purpose, I was like, yo, this is me either really passionate or I'm going into breakdown. Now I went on stage, supposed to do a poem. The first week, the people said to me, you can't do the poem just like you want to do the poem. I said, what do you mean? So I was doing a play. So what do you mean you're doing a play? Like a theatre production where we're doing acting and singing and all this shit. And I said, yeah, brother, listen, I don't know what was going on in my head at that time in my life. Maybe wanting to prove to the world that I'm not this wicked guy that you lot keep hearing about. But something inside of me made me say, you know what? Go on stage and perform, bro. Bro, I went on stage like a fucking theatre actor to be a part of a play, remember my lines, just to get to the part where I said my poem, The Sad Truth.
So you was part of the actual
and I know
thing.
I was part of a
you
fucking...
saying other lines as well?
Because I was part of a play, bro.
Okay.
And whoever knows me, I'm not going to lie, I swear that certain Hackney man, I'm not going to say no name, but I nearly did. Like, certain Hackney man was in the audience and I think they're looking at me like, is Robyn okay? And I mean man who have been with me when people have done things to me, like shot after me, and I'm on one, running after those motherfuckers. And so you're thinking, right, that's the lunatic guy I know, but he's on stage dancing and singing. This is mad to me, just say because I said his poem. So to answer your question, is it for fame? You tell me. So when I say breakdown, in my right mind, if you ask me today, would I do that? Brother, I laugh at you. Do what? Why would I go on stage? I wasn't in my right mind, cuz.
So you say you want to do that now?
No way,
what,
brother.
A poem?
The poem, I wouldn't mind doing
Obviously, I know you want to take part in the rest of it.
Yeah. The poem, I wouldn't mind doing a poem. I'm talking about like... to be, you know what it was like, and it's mad, and this is why I know I was having an internal conflict and a breakdown of this of me escaping the prison. I've just come out of it, but I'm still fighting the old me because I've had to rewrite it. I've had to write it and relive it. So what I'm saying is, there was a part of me that felt like I was doing this to impress Chris Levy's dad, my brethren's dad, because remember, his son's been stabbed and killed. I am the bad guy in this story. I'm this perpetrator. I'm the roadman, and this is what I'm trying to get away. That's why I call it prison to the street and not ex-roadman or ex-gangster or any of this bullshit that falls into line of the other terminology used. So basically, I felt like I was a young child. I've never had a dad, so I'm going to say it like this. I felt like I was a young child trying to prove to his dad that I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. And I need to prove it to you, and I can show you, and it's in my story.
Sounds like you was kind of proving it, trying to prove it to yourself at the same time. But not
just me, I knew this about everybody. So I'm saying it's the prison that's got us behaving like this. I've grown up with people who have become killers who I'm telling you before the age of 10 weren't saying nothing.
I hear you.
They would cry when kids are getting killed in cartoons.
No, definitely.
So I'm saying to you that We all changed.
So what do you think that is the main reason for, the number one main reason for people becoming prisoners, as you're saying?
For one, the prison being there in the first place.
The prison?
For one, the prison being there in the first place.
That makes people prisoners of the street.
What was the question? Answer the question again. Let me make sure
I said, what's the main reason that people fall into being prisoners?
For one, the prison itself.
The prison makes people fall into being prisoners.
For one, the prison itself. I've never even said that before. You just asked me a question that made me answer it in a way that, cool. So the prison is like prison to the street. So there's a physical prison. Once you enter that premises, your behavior changes.
What do you mean once they go into the prison?
No. So once you're walking,
I'm just saying.
To come back to your question, it might sound like I'm going left. It might just wait for me to land on this. It might sound like I'm going left because the way you asked it made me think of a different way. So the way the prison is, once those people walk into that establishment, behavior does change. Now, when I say it changes, I'm not saying that they don't have some of those behaviors on the street, but it enhances. You're more on it. You're more screwing the guy when you're walking past him. You're more edgy. You're more. What's my man getting so close for? You're more on edge. You're more doing push-ups. So you're more in that prison mindset where you don't trust nobody. So what I'm saying to answer your question is, the first thing is the prison. And
that
in terms of the street, in terms of the street now, sorry, let me jump back over. So in terms of prison to the street, the concept now, we don't have walls. We don't have none of this stuff. The first thing is believing that there's a prison. And that might not make no sense. When I say believing there's a prison, acting like there's a prison, behaving like there's a prison. So where we got the street, which is just the road, with pavement where cars drive down. People talk about the street like this is this whole new world, like street culture, street language, street terminology, street, this everything street. I don't mind they want to be street. They want to do, what do you mean they want to be street? They want to be pavement and stone. What do you mean? So what I'm saying to you, the street is just the street when you look at it in the dictionary, the word is the street. The prison is the rules that we set within our own communities that make it the prison. So this is why I say, if we change the way we have those rules, which is the prison, the prison set up for us is not a physical one. It's a code of the street prison. We're following a code that keeps us in prison. And
I'm asking, what makes the people initially start following that code?
Or what makes them first start following it?
Yeah, initially.
I think the fact.
What's the number one in your perspective?
I don't know what number one is, but the fact is that
what's the one in the main?
The fact, I'm trying to say this, that you believe in it. You give it power.
Okay, you give it power.
You put it on a pedestal. You talk about more. You come
where does the power come from? Your community, from the media, from.
It comes from many places. Like all of those and the above. It's a design.
What was your reason?
It's the same as probably everybody else's.
I'll ask you another question. When you was in primary school, what were your aspirations?
As I said, mentioned in the book, it was to be like Ian Wright. Yeah, there was nothing else that really ticked me other than I was a bit fast as well. So 100-meter sprinter and footballer. But it's crazy because I say those things, and again, although I liked it, I didn't like the attention that came with it because I was so shy as a child because of the way certain things happened in my childhood that made me a bit more. You know what I mean? So.
Did you enjoy playing football when you were?
Not enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy it. I loved it. It was therapy. It was escapism. It was creative space to play. It was creative intelligence. It was wanting to always be better than the olders because I got an older brother and I'm playing with the older lot, and it's like, nah, if I'm as good as these lot, then when I'm playing with my age, like, and where I was playing for year 6 when I was in year 4, I was in the captain year 6 when I was in year 4, I started to really feel myself, and I had that desire to never, let's put it this way, I had a Cristiano Ronaldo mentality, and with the right I don't know if I loved football. Like now I'm an adult, I'm like, yo, do you love football? Would you go out there and play football and run in shorts and that? I'm like, nah, it's too cold for that. But that's me as an adult. But I'm like, as a child, this is what I want to do. But as an adult, I'm like, yeah, football could have saved me if there was the right people around.
So where did the football? Where did the football start? Where did it end? What happened?
Like most young people who have aspirations and dreams, similar to myself, we have realizations that are not real. So we believe that we're from the hood and we ain't gonna be able to make it because we don't see people come from where we come from make it. And as you get older, you start to become more realistic to yourself. Like, who from the hood makes it at this game? Like, you're looking around you and you're seeing shutters and you're seeing, not to stereotype, but you're not seeing the majority of, I hate to say this, brothers around you, your excellence being shown. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist. So Idris Elba's from Holly Street. Okay. I didn't know this until after The Wire. I haven't even watched The Wire yet fully. So it's like, you know what I'm saying to you? It's like, but he's from my block. But we wouldn't have seen that to know that we've got people who are trying to come out. So I think for me, and for a lot of other young people, it's when the steam goes, you don't say it outwardly. So no child's going to say, I don't want to play football because I don't think I can make it because the odds are against me. The reaction would usually be, football's long. And you might start smoking because your reality, there's a under your mask, there's a realness that we're not tapping into. And even as a prison to the street, I feel like that same realness is lacking. So even that young child who's not saying to you, you know what, I'm not going to make it because I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I can work hard enough. I don't see people come from where you just say it's long. The same with the street.
Start doing stuff that's destructive towards.
You settle for second best. And I think that's a lot of people. I don't think no one, and that's why I say prison to the street, not gang member, because I feel like a gang member is more of a choice. I feel like gangs are more of like organised things. When you hear the word gang, it has like a nasty connotation with it. You think criminal, you think thug. But for me, a prison to the street isn't necessarily a thug. He's got thuggish behaviours. He's not necessarily a criminal. He's got criminal behaviours. But for me, if you understand why he's a prisoner, then you can stop him from being a criminal later on. Instead of just ignoring the fact that they're prisoners first and acting like they're criminals first. Because you asked me the question, where does it start? Well, they were born into this establishment, no? They were born into this community, with this mindset. So
but not everyone from the community goes down that path,
Facts. But that we could say that, but we know now that even though everyone doesn't go down it, everyone's affected by it. Those same people who don't go down it, their kids are probably twerking in their room or whatever it is now. What they're affected by the culture of this whole street. It's fashion now, bro. Streets have become fashion now, bro.
Definitely.
And I'm from the old school, so I'm not used to it what it is now. 100%. I know it for being what it was. So
it is fashion. It is fashion.
I don't get it now.
All right.
Even though it still exists for the young people going through those experiences. I mean, on a whole, it's desensitized. It's become fashion.
Yeah, definitely.
Morals have been dashed out the window. Yeah. So to say this, prison. My whole ideology is that in prison, if we all stop beefing and we do our time, serve our sentence, and we help each other out, like mentally, if you need peas, you ain't got no money for canteen, cool, all that, what you need, Banter Scotty, or whatever it is, teach you to read, whatever, exchange, just support each other, whatever, and do our time, because we're already in prison, is what I'm saying.
Of course, that's...
So, my whole idea is, take that same concept, flip it on its head to the streets. The streets is not the problem, it's just pavement. It's always going to be pavement. When we die, the pavement's still going to be there. So the streets ain't, Holly Street ain't done nothing to no one. Holly Street's been there from before my grandmother was there. And Holly Street as cement ain't done nothing. All it's done is carry the blood that's been spilt on those streets. But it has never inflicted pain on nobody. No area has. So obviously it's the mind, the prisoner's mindset we have. And that's why I say prisoners, we're behaving savage like prisoners. 10 guys are jumping on one guy like they would do in the shower. It's mirroring the behaviors of people in prison. The same rules are mirroring the same concepts, the same rating a man who's got a body, the same behaviors have mirrored itself onto that. And until we can flip that on its head and start rating those evil doings, then street prison's always going to remain.
100%. No, 100%. I feel you. So would it be fair to say, what are you still a prisoner? Or are you free from?
I don't.
Mentally.
I think that any soldier who goes to war,
or is it an ongoing thing that's just forever?
I feel like it physically, I'm here now. Like, well, obviously, I can't be that much of a prisoner to the street if I'm writing books, doing podcasts, 100%. Promoting change. However, I'm not saying that I'm the finished article of what that is, and I'm saying that without making an excuse, that if a soldier goes to war and was frontline and saw and took part in things that are horrifying, they come back with PTSD. I didn't, and that's soldiers. They come back with PTSD. I didn't leave Hackney. I'm still in Hackney. So if I'm suffering with PTSD, I still drive past the spot where I got shot or stabbed, where something's always reminded me, or where a friend got killed, and and then I'm having the same conversations about my work to promote it every day for the last 10 years. So psychologically, I am pretty sure I'm still not in a great place.
No, 100%.
Maybe if I hadn't done the work for so long, I would have been free a long time ago. But doing it for everybody has kind of took a lot out of me and made me relive things probably more than you ever have to relive any experience of your life that you would have coped with had you have not lived with it that much times. So let's say you had been in prison and you had been, I don't know, raped, whatever you had gone through. If you replayed that once, you don't want to replay that over and over and over and over and over and over again. Of course, if you've seen somebody's brain get shot, someone gets shot in the head and their brains, and you know what the color of a brain looks like after it's been shot, you don't want to replay that scene over and over, even if you don't write about the things you don't even write about by replaying it. So I'm saying that, it's been hard. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that like a lot of people doing this field of work, that they got the answers, they got the strength. I've got the experience and I still carry a lot of the pain. So I'm trying to heal from that pain.
No, 100. I feel you.
While teaching.
Yeah.
So
big up on the journey. But what's gonna another question. Seeing the community, we was talking about community recognition. I know you said that you've been to where was it? Where did you say that? Oh,
Harrogate.
Out of London, place to
Cheltenham.
Yeah, you've done all them. So within the community, is the recognition been what you liked, what you imagined, what it should be in your eyes for what you're doing as a positive, trying to be a positive member of society, bring light to stuff that's going on which is affecting the youth? What do you think? It's
funny because support comes in so much forms, and I think over the years I've probably said that I don't get certain support, and in saying that, you might push away the support that you do get.
Okay.
So
is that in the past you felt that you haven't gotten? What was you unhappy about in the past? What about when it comes to in terms of support?
Like I said, it's what your expectations. They say
what failed your expectations?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just thinking about it as you asked me. So it's like, it's my own expectations. I frigged myself up. What I did was, I thought, remember, mirror how you see yourself. In my head, like, anyone can watch this podcast, and this might make sense to people, but don't make it go over your head. A mirror is how you see yourself. So I look in the mirror, I see Robyn Travis. I'm like, yo, that guy was real. I'm not saying I was a gangster in Hackney, but I'm like, I look at myself and I'm like, nah, you was definitely real to what love was, having your brethren's back. You was loyal. You was.
You weren't a snake.
You was loyal. You was on it, but that's not what I want the praise for. It just means it comes from here. But you did a back down to know. You know how much people's older brothers I've had fights with in Hackney that I didn't even put in his book from when I was young. But when that older might have been badding up everybody, I wasn't having it. I was like, you can't do that to me. You can't. So it's like you had heart. You never had a strong team around you or reliable team around you who would have the same ride or die mentality to take you against people when you're outnumbered. So when Holly Street's beefing Phil, some of my friends would run, not because they're scared of Phil's boys. They're running because they're outnumbered. And they don't want to fight people older than them. They're older brothers. They don't think it's fair. So to the audience, it looks like one thing, but then if you say one-on-one with us and you, then people would have been happy to do that, is what I'm saying to you. So when I looked in the mirror, I was like, I was real to all of that. Everyone knows that. I'm not glamorizing. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying for my age, was the CV, didn't it speak for itself? Like, so what I'm saying to you is the mirror, and I didn't want this part to go over people's heads. Sorry, I do talk in big circles, sorry. The mirror is me seeing myself as that character. So after I put this work out, and I felt like, bro, well, don't these lot respect this? Like, am I lying?
When you say these lot, who are you talking about? The people from your area?
The community. Like roadman, fellow roadmen.
You're talking about roadman.
Fellow roadmen with the same prisoners mentality.
Okay, I hear you.
People who have the same mentality, even if you're still in prison to it, just the fact that, okay, you know what? He's not dissing the roadmen in his story. He's just saying that he's not rating that mindset and he's stepping away from it.
You think enough of them actually read it?
I think 99% of them didn't because of the fact that it was me. And
so that's where
it went wrong in the beginning. I think for the few who did read it, so I remember, I don't want to say no names.
But if you're real and etc., as you are saying, and you was low and all this stuff, why would they not?
Some people are still in prison in the mindset, so they're so in prison, they're double ACAT in prison to the streets. So
can you be upset for that?
No, I'm not upset. This is what I'm saying. There's no emotion here no more. That's why I'm smiling. Everything's all good. It's when I first wrote. I remember someone from Pembury, may he rest in peace, was supposedly saying that my book was a snitch book, and someone, our fellow friend, one girl came back and told me, and I was like, is that what he's saying? I said, snitch book. I said, where did he figure that out? Did he read the part where I talked about having beef with him and his Pembury boys whilst I live in Pembury as a 16-year-old, but then explaining that I remember the police in the book getting onto the Pembury boys, and also saying that I felt like I was a pussy-o, because even though I had beef with Pembury the week before, we squashed it after that. The police are beating them up in front of me the week after, and I was, shall I back them? No, they're ops. No, they're not. Because they're not ops. How can they be ops? How can they be ops? They look just like me. They're getting chased in their estate like I was getting chased in Holly Street. We're in the same prison. They're inmates like me. They're being oppressed like me.
So you was thinking that when you was how old? 16, you said? Is that how old you
When I was 16,
Okay.
but I didn't have the courage to go against the prisoner in me at 16.
Okay,
and that's why I didn't back it.
But you always knew you was in the prison.
I knew that I felt like a coward for not defending. So imagine me and you have an argument last week, and I say I'm gonna knock you out, and then I come back to you and say, oh, I'll scrap you and all your boys. And I've just had that argument with these guys. But now, me and you got a mutual respect for each other. So you see me walking up on your street and we just hate each other out now. It's not beef, we're cool now.
Yeah.
So a week later, you get into beef with police. You're not my enemy, bro. For one, why am I still in prison to this Holly Street, Pembury? Why do I care? I should be defending you on the fact that the officer just smacked your mum in the face, bro. And I've had my mum smacked in the face. I'm sorry, not smacked in the face. Moved to by police when I was young.
Okay. So you got that.
So why am I watching your mum get smacked in the face, bro?
No, for real.
So I started to slowly find out who I was, slowly, because I'm like, that wasn't real. So everything that the prison tells you is real, I didn't keep it real. So for me, when I said the person was saying it was a snitch book, I was like, they haven't read it. And I realized that people are so imprisoned, and so I can't get upset with them, they would judge it before even reading it. Because if he's talking about the streets, it has to be a snitch book. No, everything I've talked about's already happened. That's what cracked me up. And this is why I know some people in the street, not even some people, a lot of man them on the street, and I don't want to diss the brothers and saying, are kind of backward thinkers, you know.
What's that, the man them on the street?
A lot of man them on the street.
What,
Without dissing a man them, hear this. Backward thinking. Whoever said that's a snitch book is an idiot. And I'm going to say that straight. And I'll say why it's kind of funny. Everything that I talked about's already happened. People have gone to jail at the time for it come out. How the fuck could it be a snitch book? The only person I would have snitched on, there's only one person I would have snitched on in that book. I'll give you one guess. Moi.
Okay. I hear you.
Everyone knows that. So I'm saying to you that you got to understand that there was more sacrifice to tell the story. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So when people don't understand,
sacrifice of being misunderstood in the community.
Not just that, putting out your own story and saying things that you shouldn't be talking about. Snitching on yourself. Snitching on yourself.
Do you feel like if anyone ever challenges your book, they're how they remember it? Do you feel like they're wrong, or do you feel like it's a perception-based situation?
I love that question. I think, because I was meant to write the book with the person I stabbed, I found out about, it's my truth, your side, and then the truth, whatever they call. And I was meant to write this book with the guy who stabbed me. It's just to kill the whole dance. That I was never intending to write this book by myself, because I didn't want to be the center of attention like I am now. I didn't want to be the one getting asked all the fucking questions and having to give all the fucking answers.
You see what people
so sorry to cut you, brother. When me and him was writing the book, so imagine Flash stabbed me. Me and Flash is already I've got pages of Flash's work at my house now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you is, the intention was to bring it together, but then there's a few things we bumped on, and the things we bumped on is my story, your story, then the truth, right? Yeah. The things we bumped on in my story, my perception is, I see you for who you are, and not in a bad way. I see that this theory is so spot on that it's hard for you to accept my perception of things, because it makes you look like a coward in your eyes, but not in my eyes. You just look like a prisoner to me who was under pressure. And if I was in your shoes, I would have probably done the same thing. So what I'm saying here is, his mindset is so conditioned to have to behave like this.
You may say that, but you may have made parts of your book. You wrote the book. Have you ever? Did you write any parts of the book where you was the loser?
Bare times. What are you talking about?
Is there's people that might say about, yo, he didn't mention that loss though, that L.
But if I'm honest,
how come he didn't mention them L? But that L, I remember that L.
If I'm honest with you,
but he didn't put that L in the book.
If I'm honest with you, yeah, when it comes to fist fighting, I don't know if it's like, I've been lucky with the, you know, in boxing when they say, you know when they say in boxing, yeah, that they missed opponents, like, because he didn't want to fight him.
I believe that, but I'm saying,
so
maybe even if
I hear you, but it don't have to be a fist fight. It could just be.
My brother used to batter me regularly.
But I'm saying,
No, I'm not talking about brother. I'm just talking about on the road.
I've been rashly okay, because there's lots of questions, and there's lots of questions, and I want to come back to everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So, the L, take it L. I talked about getting rushed, stabbed. How much times have I been stabbed? Every time you get stabbed in the streets of today, that's an L, right? Yeah, I've got stabbed many a times in that book. So, I'm not.
They may have said you might have not have described it.
And did you probably got them back?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me say it like this then, so it doesn't have any. Because for me, I feel like I don't need to answer these questions at the point I'm at in my career, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've already proven it. So there's people. Hear me out. No, hear me out. Let me land.
Just so I can be straight about what I'm asking you.
Let me land.
Go shoot.
What I'm saying is, there's people who are involved in this book, who have said it's gone exactly how, and they've written as part of the book. Remember, forget the person who's meant to write the book with me. There's someone at the end of the book who's written the book with me. No, I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is this. Good question you asked me before, because there was so much fired at me. Just give me a second, because I'm processing. The first sorry, the first perception from him when I said there's my truth and his truth, and in the middle, his was when we had the fight initially. Mine's was a simple story. You lot rushed me in your ends, then you came to Early Street and you were playing football. I was half asleep. The man woke me up. No word of a lie. I had hay fever. My mum's my witness. I was sleeping. I got brought to the centre. I was told these are the guy by one guy from Early Street. The man who rushed you is here. I walked in. You lot rushed me the other day, and you're coming to Early Street to play football. Now I'm 14. I'll fight you, everybody one-on-one. I said it to everybody. Now, this is what I say by not glamorizing all.
But it does.
One second, let me land. No. I'll tell you why. Yeah, but I'm glad you're saying that. But this is why we need to unpick it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you're doing this. But give me a second to answer this. Give me a second to answer this. I want to answer it all. You're answering some beautiful questions that make me answer it to these people that need to hear it. Thank you. So, what I'm saying here is that when I've gone into that centre, truth be told, I've said it in the book. There's no glamorizing. I said, yo, I've gone in there with me and another guy, offered out everybody, but I turned my back, and then the man's left me. And I've said it in the book as I said it to everyone. I said, yo, when my brethren left me, I kind of felt like, oh shit, I can't believe I put myself in this situation. Because I've done the most humanized book on the earth. In terms of once
your actual experience.
No, let me just land.
No, let you land. Just because of your actual experience, yeah. I'm not saying, and your experience is probably true, but because there's not many experiences that maybe match that, can you understand how people could look at it like the victories are glamorizing? Because I know.
But that's why I said, let me slowly unpick it. Let me slowly. What you asked was a good question. No, I'm going to slowly unpick it. That's why I said. What I'm saying is, so going in and doing that, coming out, having a fight with this guy. Then he said to me, years later when we started talking about the book, it didn't happen like that, you sucker punched me. Yeah. I said, bruv, how can I sucker punch you in the middle of a fight? And that's my side, your side, and then the truth. And I'm like, bruv, are you serious? And I remember falling back like, oh, is this what's stopping us from writing this book together? Yeah. That. Because if it's that you lost the fight to me is what's holding you back, then that's the same reason why you stabbed me, bro. Because you do you get what I'm saying to you, of losing the fight? So I was all confused. And so, like you said, is it perspective? Is it people seeing that I'm making it to be something it's not? So I said, all right, cool, wait there, bro. Let me phone everyone that was there. It's not even about making it so, yeah, but I just said, let me phone everyone that was there and let me, ask them. And it was me, him, and the film guy, because we were talking about the film at the time, after the book even. And I was like, bro, there was no sucker punch. Phoned everybody. There was so much people remember this fight. They're like, sucker punch who? Everyone was like, everyone in loudspeaker.
Was this people from your side though?
No, people who were just there.
Okay.
So understand that's for him to cut you and still have his balls, in a way where he can still feel himself. He had to tell himself a certain story.
But I'm saying to you is this. Yeah? I'm saying to you this.
I'm saying that story that he told himself isn't 100%.
I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you this.
No. What you saying? He could have done. What you saying? He could have done the same thing.
No, it could be argued. Not saying that he did the same thing. I'm saying that when you have like, say for instance, if you're a man that if Mayweather's fights weren't in the ring, we won't believe him.
Yeah, I hear you. Just from
all right, let me say it like this.
There's reasons why we won't believe him.
Let me say it like this. There's nothing.
Are you with me?
Yeah, no, I've been with you. But that's why I've said there's so much that I've picked. You lot are giving me diamonds here, so I'm pick. His perspective is not a lie. His perspective is his truth. Whether he's convinced himself that that's what's happened or not. Now, whether I'm sitting here saying what I'm saying and I've convinced myself, and not just that I've convinced myself, all the people around me who witnessed it told me it went exactly how you said it. And because they've said that, maybe they've given me more belief in my story. Yeah. But I'm going to run with that. Because you don't have a reason to be a yes man to me. You don't have a reason. And so on. So I look at the evidence like a judge, even when I'm having it. One second.
You're making it sound like I'm questioning your story.
No, not you.
Just
I'm
generally.
not answering to you. Listen to this.
I just want to make that clear.
Bro, listen, I told you ages ago, thank you for the diamonds you've just given me. So I know I'm not answering these questions to you two. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, when I realized the evidence presented about his opinion, I reflected. I said, did I sucker punch him? And I thought about it. And I was like, right, I'm trying to visualize his story, because I don't like to be biased even in my own shit. So I'm like, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, no, it didn't happen like that. It didn't. Let's be honest. And not only that, at the end of the fight, you know when like you hurt someone and the fight's finished and it's just one more hit, like in Karate Kid, and he says, and then he goes, and whatever. Yeah. I could have really gone ham, but I was smart back then. I knew they would have rushed my brother, the older field boys. And I'm like, if my brother gets rushed, I'm killing everybody. So we're not going to go down that road on my mum's doorstep. So best I just leave the fight respectable. He used to be my brethren in primary school anyway, so it's not that deep. So what I'm saying to you is, I sucker punch you. No one's ever spoken about that sucker punch in the whole of these years, even before the books come out. Nobody. No one's even said, oh, he's chatting shit about it in the book. He didn't talk about the sucker punch. I'm saying to you, this is brand. So then I look at all the evidence and I'm like, well, why would you lie? Why would you say sucker punch? Then I'm like, without judging, why would I lie? Why would I say someone? Because I don't want the embarrassment that comes with still feeling like I took a loss. Now, let me land.
Why wouldn't you give him that?
But let me land. I love this. I'm going to say this in a mad way. I got so much love for this guy because not in terms of what he's our past, in terms of I see through you. Yeah. I even see a version of me. One second, no.
Why wouldn't you let him have that?
No, bruv, hear what I'm saying to you.
Just while we're talking about that, you can go.
I'll answer that question in a second.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to land this. I see through you so much. I see a version of me. And what I'm saying is that this prison of losing, that we live in, of losing a fight.
That's what you're trying to break.
I'm saying to you, mean to tell me as big men, we can't even take the L, then this is what's killing our community. Brother, I'm saying to you publicly, I've said it in the book, I've said it, I don't remember losing a fight. If someone was to come up in the future and say, yeah, Robyn, I beat you up back in the day, don't you remember? And I'll be, oh, okay, cool. Because so, for example, I was at a night and a guy came up to me at a night and he said, you don't remember me? And he said, your book's real, you're one of the realest ever, but people weren't going to tell you that to your face. And I was at a night in Fields, it wasn't even in Holly Street, so I was like, rest in peace, Cheddar. So this guy's come up to me and then he said to me, but why didn't you talk about when I stabbed you in the book? I said, stab you? Oh shit. He stabbed, oh yeah, because I robbed your brother, and his brother's standing there, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I robbed this guy. And I'm looking at, and I'm like, it's all kicking in. Because I've done bare things, cuz.
We say he stabbed you said?
I forgot he stabbed me.
Okay.
Now,
let me... left it out of the book?
Bruv, I left, listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to this. This is where it's so powerful and God works in mysterious ways. He reminded me he stabbed me. Now, if I put that in the book, it would have showed you who I really am. Because he knows why I didn't come back for him. It wasn't because I was scared. It was because my mum told me you can't be wrong and strong. Now, that day I walked out my yard at 13 or 14 with a backpack and decided I want to jet people for their mobile phones. And I've gone around Hackney as a youth, one up, started to say to people, give me your phone, take back your SIM card. Now, I didn't know that motherfuckers knew who I was at that age. So people are like, oh, Robyn, I'm sorry. I'm like, right, the guy said my name. I'm getting gassed by this. Like, rah, I've got a little bit of power. I can do this. And first time I've ever gone around with that. I used to jack phones in West End, like grab from a man's ear and ran. But now I'm doing it in your face, like a Debo. I'm not that character. That's not who I am. So it was starting to like, and then one guy said to me, yeah, come around the corner. I'll give you my phone over here. Just don't want to embarrass you in front of it because bare people's there, and I thought, all right, cool. But that's how I knew I was to this whole thing. The guy set me up for his brother to come stab me. And his brother for his brother to stab me. I don't think he needs brother to stab me. He didn't want to get robbed basically because he didn't look like he was enjoying his brother do the motion. I wasn't fazed by it, and this is the deep part. This is gonna fuck people's head up if they know about real trauma. I keep hearing everyone use this word. I wasn't fazed by it. I've seen shit like that many a time before that age. Do you understand that? So I remember going through the whole motion, just watching his brother's expression, and the guy's trying to stab me in my leg, and I'm thinking, you don't even want to stab me, because you're not trying hard enough. You're trying to intimidate. I watched it all happen in front of me like, right, that's intimidation. He doesn't want to penetrate. He's still scared of me. I observed that as a youth, bro. And then I got up and I thought, yeah, take the L. Walked home. In my head, there was an internal conflict. I'm going to come back and juke this you up. What, does he know who I am? Then I was like, no, you robbed his brother. If it goes wrong, then like, so I've always felt like God has my side when I'm fighting, because if I start a fight, I will get fucked up. If I'm going in with a good heart, I'm not going to lose, bro. Okay. So I've always made my fights, and that's probably why I haven't lost, not on a braggadocious thing. I'm actually believing I'm walking with a different energy when I step into a fight. I don't want to be wrong and fight you. I'd rather walk away from it. So I've come back to Holly Street after got all these my backpack with all these phones, seeing Lionel, Folksy, big up Folksy. Folksy, what are you doing? Why are you limping like that? You come from football? No, when you just stabbed me. What? Come go over there. No. Now Lionel can see in my face. Lionel knows me. I don't say no. I'm not afraid. I've been scared of being scared as a child for so long that I jump at fear. Because I don't want to ever be scared no more, because fear does that to you. You either go one way or the other. So he's telling me, come and go up there, and I'm looking at Lionel like, no, I can't do that. He's like, why? It's me, because I've robbed everybody's phone. Now I know Lionel don't give a shit about my philosophy, my fucking moral compass, because he's from the street. He's from the prison. The prison don't care about my fucking idiot morals. It's just the prison's like, are you mad? They stabbed you. Fuck whether he's, and this is why the streets is fucked today, because they don't have any fucking morals. So for me, this loss would have been more important to add into the book than to leave out. And this was, for me, a loss. Now, I'm mad that I didn't remember at the time. So when I've gone back with Lionel to the estate near Hoxton, I'm going to say, where I've gone back up to the estate, I think I had a knife or whatever, gone up to the guy, crossed my hands, screw-faced him, screw-faced all the oldest. Now, he was 19, I was 14. 19, 14. I see the guy at the 9 he said, Rob, man heard about you as a youth, so when you come back that day, why didn't you do nothing? I said, you know why? I knew I was wrong. I wanted to do things to you, but it's like, you can't do that. Even wanted to get my older brother to come and fuck you up. But then if anything happened to him, his blood would have been on my conscience. If one little slip, if he throws a punch and slips in and you get the better of him, that's on me, bro. If I come to stab you now, I got a feeling that the energies ain't gonna work. And that's how I've lived my life, cuz. So when I'm saying to you, I've been rushed and stabbed many a times, and I don't understand why people would not admit that that's the only real times I've taken losses. So if that's a loss, then boy, I've got bare W's, and I will brag about that in the sense of being a man. Because prison to the street saying that 10 man will rush one man and get respected for it. No, I respect people who do what I do more than the 10 man rushing one man. Is that a crime in saying that? Does it sound like I'm bragging about the street when I say I respect a stand-up guy? I respect the Irish people who scrapping and go out and have a Guinness straight afterwards. I respect that more than what we've got going on in our street.
What it's connected to is the ego, and the ego is a big problem in the streets. So you see, sometimes if I didn't know the other sides of you, it wouldn't, like, someone needs to get to know different sides of you for them to actually know what you're saying is the truth and it's balanced. When they don't, sometimes it can sound braggadocious. I'm saying to you as a friend, you know, like it can sound like you're bragging on all your wins. So it's hard for people to get the message with the brag.
But at the same time, can I be honest? I'm happy I won those fights, and I'll tell you why. Because it felt like at the time it was good against evil, and I'm in the spirit. I'm proud. Like that's how I felt about it. The fuck?
People don't get enough of you to understand both sides.
I hear you, and I feel you. You're right.
All they can hear
is that side.
This guy that beat up bare people, ran to bare man and they were distracted. And it's not like, even me, when I'm telling stories about myself, there's certain things I've done that I know they're brave, but I know if I tell the story out loud, what I'm gonna sound like, you know it's your truth, so you're able to say it. So clearly, no stuttering, nothing. But because a lot of people haven't got these stories, then that's one of the main reasons why they're not gonna want to believe you. It's not
and I'm with you, but there's another reason as well. We've got to be clear about this. I'm not a rapper as well. Yeah. No one from Holly Streets made it as established rappers for anyone to buy into Robyn's story. If we had as much rappers as other man in Hackney did, then my thing would have gone crazy. I'll be like Nipsey Hussle right now. And let me tell you why I say what I'm saying.
You say the rappers would have helped promote it.
Bruv, if it was a Holly Street production, like if it was that Holly Street rappers were known in this field, it would have been more out there. What I'm saying to you is that this book, it will only be credited by those people who not only know it's true but like you, and who are not thinking like prisoners anymore. So if you're my op for example. I don't have ops.
I think what's more important.
You're talking about in that east area.
Everywhere, bro.
What's
in the whole.
Is that people just read the book, and relate to it. That's what makes the authenticity. Yeah, if you like, if it didn't have authenticity, then people that read it and how much people has changed, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have changed people's lives. It wouldn't have done this. I think the fact that the authenticity where you're putting in it has changed people's lives shows that, you know what I mean? It
shows that it's real and it's coming from a real place.
And can I say something about fighting as well, just in case bragging gets some use that context? I want to say something. I've never really cared about winning anything but a football match. If I was fighting, it was more because I was the recipient of someone trying to bully me or bad me up as a child.
And I know that, but you know that you have to...
Yeah. So I'm saying, I'm said it in the books, but it's, like I said, who's going to pick up to read it? If they read it, they'll get that. Yeah, they just, if not, they only hear the other side of Robyn. This side that's talking. And, I get you. So
they only concentrate on one part of the movie.
Yeah.
Trust.
Hey, you know what I'm saying to you? So that's my trail of thought, you know. I've completely lost my trail of thought.
Yeah, but that's what I say. Like, rather than like I say to you, it's not that I don't know the different sides, and someone that's spoken to you and knows you, you know, or even read the book, don't know the different sides. But because you're so calm in the way you talk, you still got a street persona.
That's what I was gonna say. Even if I was to like, I never cared about winning fights. You see, some people care about winning fights. I just don't want to be embarrassed. That was it.
But that's how everyone, I guess, not.
So let's just say I wrote the book and talked about never winning a fight, but every fight I did a good for myself. I held it up. I'm happy with that. Because for me, on a personal level, if I'm on, but no, I know that a lot of people will prefer that. But what I'm saying is this. So, for example, I was in Ends one time. One older guy from Field see me, big me up. He said, "Yeah, I was in jail with the Northwest Youth. The Northwest Youth asked me if your book was." Who's this guy that wrote your book? Because no one's heard of Holy Street. There's no rappers putting our hands on them. This is what I'm saying. No, you know let me just say this quick before I lose my track again. Sorry. This guy's held me out. And when he's held me out, he said to me about 30, about the guy from Northwest was saying, is this guy 30? And I told the guy from Northwest, yeah, he's younger than that youth's thoroughbred. When we go around Holy Street, it's only him and another youth that's on it. When us man used to go around there in numbers, that youth's on his thing. Like I told him you're on it. I told him you're 30. And then I thought about it. I thought, why are we talking about I'm 30? This is where it's getting lost. And I caught it and I was like, I'm not 30. This is bollocks. So even if you respect me for winning every fight, then more fool you. More fool you for buying into that. Because that means that your mind's only focused on that perspective of it. Focus on the body of the message. I told you before certain fights I had, before I had a fight with that guy, when he came out the center, I said I wasn't even angry before the fight started. I realized it was my childhood friend. I didn't just give you the story with the violence and the action like Top Boy and all this bullshit without no story. I gave you the human. I gave you my heart. I put my heart on my hand. I exposed how I felt towards my old ops before it was emotional. It was loving almost. I'm showing you I never hated you. Ever. And I'm upset that we took the beef this far. And if I was man enough to say it then, we wouldn't be where we are now. But instead we're all buying into this taking a loss thing so hard that we can't be honest about how we feel because we have to play up to the rules of the prison. And that's what I've been trying to teach for years. And so for me, I know that a lot of people are going to mistake me. It's going to take a long time for a lot of people to get what this guy's actually saying, because it actually is maybe the way he's expressing it. Maybe it's not being asked the questions that you two have asked me today to allow me to give these answers. Like it's so many things. And then me, I'm not really that sociable. So I might go on social media, but after I'm like, I don't want to be posting shit. I don't want to be talking to people. I'm from the road first. I don't like trust people.
But you have to talk.
So it's still dealing with the old me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's nuts, but it's a journey that I'm not going to complain about, because a man phoned me 2 days ago and said that he read Prison to the Street and he was about to kill himself, and yeah, he didn't kill himself after reading that. He said he's got more in his life to do. So yeah, that's God. That's God. That's the win. That's the win. Because if I heard he killed himself, bro, I would have come and killed him myself. I would have come and killed him after he killed himself.
So you're saying there's not much recognition from the hood, but it seems like you have got feedback as positive as well.
I think my problem.
Feel that there ain't enough people.
I was focusing so much on the lack of support from the hood that I missed all the support I was receiving from the average person. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, you wanted the support from the street, from the hood.
Yes. where I felt it mattered.
You done it. Yeah, that's
and why did I feel it mattered there? Because not only are these fellow brethren and me are going to be able to fuck with each other on the same podcast and run joke and uplift the future collectively, and even maybe have them come on shows and say things like, yeah, but you didn't win that fight with me. I didn't and you know what I'm saying to you? And then you get the other side rather than
100.
For me, it's like, I can't, brother, if it's not real, I don't want to know. And a lot of things ain't real in this world. That's all I can say. And I'm not saying I'm real to everything, because I'm not real to everything. And that's real. But that's what I'm real to. I'm real to the fact I'm always going to tell you how it is, bro, is what I'm saying.
Definitely, 100%.
And behave accordingly to whatever's going on around me, bro. So
yeah, all right, cool.
But yeah, sorry to answer the question, because that was I did answer it, but the recognition, I want to give a shout out, in fact, for the people who have been supporting me over the years, because the support's been amazing. I mean, even you guys here now. Let's be fair.
I have to get you on.
You know what I'm saying to you? So let's be totally honest about it. Support comes in many shapes and forms. Support could even be a conversation. I'm on the phone to a man and the man's telling me, Rob, you need to keep doing what you're doing, you know. Or Rob, you need to take a break, but you can't stop until you pass over the baton. Or Rob, it's your approach. Or Rob, support isn't support not liking a post on Instagram.
Do you feel like people are even at a place, you see, like the people that we want to understand it, do you feel like they're even at a mental space, spiritual space to even take it on as they should?
Seems they're still prisoners. That's what you were saying, wasn't you saying that?
Like,
I think everyone's capable.
No, they're capable, but people can only meet you as deep as they've met themselves.
Yeah. So yeah. So how can I say this? To answer the question, I'm gonna do it. Like, you're 100% right. Again, thank you for these diamond questions. I've been sitting on a gold mine for nearly 10 years. That gold mine is prison to the street, the film. I've been making up noise, getting in my feelings, working harder than I need to. Still grateful for every single talk I've done, whether the audience was 3 people, whether it was 300 people, I don't really care. Whoever I connected with at the time, whether it was man never had the petrol to get there, but man still got there. Whatever it was, man didn't have a film crew until I spoke to you guys and for the tour. Whatever the not having is, I'm saying that I've learnt so much on this journey about the people that have your back. And it's hard to explain it, because it's hard to back someone you don't know what they're doing. A lot of people don't know what I'm doing, they're trying to back me. But the ones who do know what I'm doing, I can't always explain to them what I'm trying to take it to. So then it gets lost. So over the years, there's just been some amazing support.
Do you ever feel like you don't want...
Sorry, Brown Eagle, sorry before I forget, sorry. Brown Eagle supported me financially with books. New Beacons have done things with the podcast. Peppers and Spice always selling my books. And when we talk about community, so you're talking about recognition, I want to recognize these people in the community who have made my book their own. Ian Napper's even had my picture of me in the book, an old cover from fucking nearly 10 years ago. So when I go on Facebook and I'm looking at a picture of me and Ian, I'm like, why is my picture on Ian's?
Just before you move on,
little things.
Like
is it?
When you talk, you feel, are you at a place, because sometimes I feel like this, but I know many people feel like this, that you're tired of people telling your story as well. Are you at a place where you want to tell your story to have to be left as you want it to be told rather than other people tell it?
Yeah, so sorry, I'm going off a track, and I notice as I'm answering questions, I'm derailing. And I want to say 2 things here to answer that, because I was saying I was sitting on a gold mine about the film, and then I got distracted in my thoughts. I've been so focused, and I want this to be not just a message to me, to everybody who gets stuck in their own way. It says in the Bible, when you block your own blessing, on the people that have not supported, that I forget. I went through my DMs the other day on Instagram. Bruv, the things that this book's done.
I know.
I went through my Facebook messages the other day. Because the things that this book's done. I'm getting letters from people in prison, bro.
Come on, been getting letters. And you've been doing a prison radio.
The things this book's done. The book's been played on national prison radio twice in the space of a year during lockdown, where they've got nothing else to be in their cell. What the fuck am I complaining for? I've been focusing so much on the smallest, and it makes probably even other people think, is my negative to Phil's youths or something? No, they're cool. I'm cool with everybody. Or any Tottenham, I'm cool with everybody. I'm just upset that people who claim to be from where I'm from don't want to really recognize, because you asked me a question about, is it that their minds are open? I believe some people's minds are open, but it's like the system. They know right from wrong, but they want to benefit off of, it's more beneficial for them to do wrong.
Or do you feel like some people try and capture what you're doing and do it themselves?
That too, but you said it and I didn't say it.
I did.
Yeah, so you said it and I didn't say it, and I know people from the hood who even come up to me before doing anything, telling me they want to do what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, but I've seen that in the youth field a lot as well, which is funny. So it's like, you obviously don't know what I'm doing, because I don't want to be doing this. I learned from watching Malcolm X and that there should never be one voice. Dangerous, very dangerous. I learned that as a youth.
Do you feel like which side of you write, that a different side of you write different books? As you said, you know there's different sides of you. You know, like even when you said when man asked you, what did you do the other day? He was like, you know what I mean? He said, you know there's a split side of you. So it's like, do you feel like one side of you writes certain books? Because again, I would like to start talking about Mama Can't Raise a Man, because more time people is Prison to the Street. But I feel like Prison to the Street, Mama Can't Raise a Man, and Freedom to the Streets is like a key. It's like some sort of coding.
Definitely.
So, you know that.
I take this out, man. He's figured us out. You gotta edit that part, man. Man's unlocked the Da Vinci Code, you know. You can't tell them that. You can't tell them that, man. You can't tell them.
Let the people know what books you've actually got out.
Yeah, I will, but I'm gonna close on this because I keep getting sidetracked, because you lot have asked me some powerful stuff today. So what I was saying is, I'm sleeping on myself. Big up all my supporters who I've not acknowledged, and I've overlooked you in my emotional state by being so focused on the things that don't matter. And big up all the man who haven't supported me, because it's never us against you or me against you or us against them. The goal is unity, innit? So get out of our feelings, and let's we don't make the best decisions whilst emotional. And Prison to the Street as a film is going to be able to do what all I've been trying to do in the last 10 years. So I'm just smiling like, Rob, I know you got a podcast out, that's cool and that, but the meat is when you put the film out, bro. Like, that's when the world sees not only your creative stuff as an author, as a writer. Like, a lot of people say they're authors as street writers, but they didn't write a book. Somebody wrote their book. Their name's in the front of it, but they didn't write a book. Okay. I wrote my own book. Okay. Big up Stevie G. I think he's the only other man I know who's written his own book. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know much black authors from the street. So let's not get accolades for things that we haven't done. But everyone does that in this field. But you know that I'm not here to get into all that. So what I'm going to say is, real quickly, Prison to the Street, I'm making sure that I write it myself as the film. Because we've had offers from big up Ron Ruffles, who produced Belly, State Property and Paid in Full. He wanted to write this film with me. And the guy who stabbed me at the time, we all took a picture together, went in field, everything. And I realised, nope, not doing it with these fuckers, man. Because I don't want, in years to come, people to miss what I was trying to do. So though you got the supportative and the backative in terms of financial and all the links to get this film to be the most spoken about, I prefer, to answer your question earlier, to not be famous and get out of the hood for putting out any fuckery film like Top Boy or Bullet Boy or all these things that talk about acne and not from acne, and doesn't explain acne. I prefer to give you something that leaves the rest of the world looking at acne differently to how you did before watching those films. And that's my objective. So going on to the question, Mama Can't Raise No Man now, you're right. The mood shift change. Mama Can't Raise No Man. What film is it? Is it Jim Carrey when he's multiple characters? What film's that? Cable Guy, not Cable Guy.
Mask.
Is it Mask? I can't remember what film it is. It might be Mask. I can't remember. But there's a film where he's multiple characters. Yeah, I think it's Mask. Or Cable Guy. Mama Can't Raise No Man, I was Jim Carrey. I had to be a single mother, an absent father, a sister, an inmate, an auntie who cares. Fucking hell, who else was I in that book? I can't remember. A 5-year-old child writing to their dad. Sorry?
When Jim Carrey adopted the black family,
series.
Okay.
It's gonna come to me though. It's gonna come to us before this thing that we're gonna ball it out. I just can't remember what it is.
So you say you have to put yourself in everyone's position.
So when Jay's asking the question, so how do you change as a writer creatively to go into the? I think one of the key things I've got to answer even Jay's question about, do you think some people are ignoring you or just not ready? Some people are not ready. And I'll tell you why. I think I've always been a natural empath from young. So because of that, it gives me more freedom to tell a story from a character's perspective outside of my own. Because I know that I can be objective and look at myself. So Jay, you're my brother. Me and you argue in real life. I could argue with you today, go home and say what I believe today, stand in my truth today, go home and then phone in tomorrow and say, you know what, 15% of that was true. The rest of it was probably a bit off. However, I'm sticking to that.
Do you think that comes from your wins physically? Do you think that
I've got to big up mummy. I don't even know what I want to say mummy, but Nanny, I want to big up the way I was raised, because I was raised, some would say a bit too disciplined, too strict, but I was raised in a way where you just don't do certain things.
But I feel like, you see, if you're kind of good physically, yeah, you kind of you're not afraid physically, and you're not afraid of a fight. So it doesn't matter whether you're good or not, yeah. So if you're not afraid of a fight, you're kind of more open to look at yourself than someone that feels intimidated.
I feel like it's a lie to say. I feel like it's a lie to say.
Intimidated, they just jump out.
Yeah, jump out. They don't really
jump out the box because they feel intimidated.
I feel like if I'm honest with you, if I'm honest with both of you, and I don't want to, because again, I know I don't want to go back to this book again, but I don't want to brag on being a fighter. So what I'll say is this: I don't remember getting into a fight not being scared. But what I'm scared of might not be scared what you're scared of. You might be scared of the pain. But I used to get licks as you. I ain't scared of no pain. Brother used to fuck me up all the time. I ain't scared of the pain. I'm scared of the embarrassment.
Don't like embarrassment.
We got different fears. We're going into the same fight with different fears. So for me, it's like you got to understand yourself. You got to understand the things that make you tick. And those things, once you understand the things that make you tick, you can more control how you react to those things that make you tick.
I feel like the hood expects so much of the same things from so many people that there's some of these people was never supposed to be that person, if you understand what I'm saying.
Bruv, unless to annihilate my point about myself, I come back to again, whoever looked at this book as glamorizing is simply a fool. It means that you have not read the book. That's the only thing I could say. You have not read the book, and if you have read it and you come to that conclusion, then, which I think is not 0% of people, but if you do read it and come to that, then you're a clown. Because it simply shows you throughout the whole book that I didn't want to behave like this. At one point did I want to behave like this, however I never told a single soul I didn't.
Again, with the coding of it though, yeah?
I think maybe the people that's judging them are the people that actually know you personally.
Not know you, I don't
the people that don't know you, that's just read the book just from a street mentality. I think they're trying to come out and they understand it from a bigger level. I think they like it because a couple of people that I know have read it and they're like, yeah, I like that.
They can relate.
They like it because they relate to it. They don't know you personally, or they're not from any of those specific. Yeah. They can relate to the story and the emotions that you put through the book.
But not all medicines for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
So if I take the medicines that's not for me, it could kill me. Yeah. And if I take a medicine that's not for me, it might not do nothing.
But here it is. I would add to your one though.
Yeah, add to it as well. So if you notice, for something to work as your book is working, it has to be for the person that needs it. It's so to a certain people, like I say to you, like if a normal.
What do you mean working? What do you mean in terms of working?
What do you mean?
Because you said for it to be,
for it to work, for you to understand it and to take it and for it to change your life and not stop you from killing yourself. Everything in this book has to relate to you. If you haven't lived that kind of life,
street life.
It is not just street life. Someone might have gone through some
experiences.
Some experience totally different to the street, but they read that book and they get it, fam. But sometimes we always put everything down to street life. It's not always street life. Like we can read a book that's about someone
rejection.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So we can read like Pursuit to Happiness,
abandonment.
And relate that to the streets. You understand what I'm saying? But he wasn't doing streets. He was trying to get. You know what I'm saying? Woman left him, whatever. But we can relate those feelings. Yeah, so it's like when there's so many. That's why there might be people that never from that life that give you more appreciation for this book than the other people. You understand what I'm saying to you? But if you can't meet, like that's what I say to you. If you can't, if for it to work as well as it does, it won't work for people that don't need it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like for the people that don't need it, there are people that will read it and understand it. But for the people that dare to judge it on the wrong place, they'll read it and miss it, just like the holy books, like the Bible, the Quran.
I think personally, the people that pick up to read it, majority, I think they appreciate it. I think the ones that ain't appreciate it, I don't really reckon they've actually probably read it too. But what do you think?
No, I'm gonna. We could just land on what you said. Is that? It's exactly that. There's no, like I said, initially when I was doing this, I had feeling in it. So when you're talking about, imagine I'm talking about a story and all of us is in the room and I'm telling a story about us lot in the room and I know it went like that, but you lot telling me it never go like that. Or you're not saying it to me, but you're acting like it, and I'm saying to myself, well, why aren't you lot talking about this story? So my focus has become you. I didn't write the book for none of you.
Yeah.
Whether you agree, disagree, and this is to re-emphasize, we did say this long ago, I no longer care. I only cared because I was in the emotion of promoting. I'm still in it, if that makes sense. Even now, 10 years later, I'm still, nearly 10 years later, next year 10 years, I'm still promoting a book that I've been probably started writing 10 years ago now time, 2011. I'm still promoting a book which would keep me in the fit. So if you break up with a girl, bro, and you keep seeing the girl's picture on Instagram, or everywhere you go, you see that. That's why people unfriend people or block people. They don't want the constant reminder. So if I'm constantly reminding myself, my feeling towards you is going to be cool some days. It's going to be bipolar. So when I've done prison talk, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, but you sound like you're still angry at these youths. I said, no man, I'm cool with the youths. I still chat to, what's his name? My next door neighbours of Phil's. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, we bought each other black pepper. Oh, is it the way I said it? I'm just getting in a certain time to tell you a story. But you're judging me of how I'm talking in emotion. Well, how the fuck do I tell the story about emotion? I haven't figured that one out yet. So I'm not mad, like Tupac said, I ain't mad at you. Because when I come out of, it's like an author, he tells a story. How the fuck does he get you to gravitate to it? He's got to make you feel it. So what do you think he's doing when he's writing it? He feels it more than all of you.
See, that's why you stay up so late all the time. You're channeling.
Writing and
channeling.
I told you how I write chapters, bro. I said to you, I went to sleep, even writing the film. There's 3 scenes I write before I go to sleep. And I don't mean write on the computer. I mean, I lie down in my bed like this and I visualize the next 3 scenes when I go wake up and write. And I say, that's not going to work. And my eyes are closed, I'm lying in the bed. So
channeling can go into a lot of...
So then imagine you're channeling and you're doing that for 10 years on a subject and you're saying the same things. Bruv, I've said Holly Street and Phil so much times now, I'm like, rah, the words piss me off. Yeah. Not the things that come behind it, just saying the same, even streets. The streets. What the fuck is the streets? It sounds nerdy to it sounds dumb to me. I feel like I feel like a geek having these conversations. Because it's like so, you get what I'm saying to you? But then it's the way I haven't put out the film. So like you said, back to Mama Can't Raise No Man, he was asking me flashlight. It's more about how I had to become all those different characters. And that for me was when I birthed my real writing ability. I realized, oh, I'm an author. Because I'm not even allowed to say this, but I'm going to say this without saying it. Shit, how do you say it? Mama Can't Raise No Man was meant to get an award. It didn't. That's the best way to say it without saying too much more.
Yeah.
And it's because of politics why I didn't. I'm not going to say which award, so I've just saved myself. Fuck. Yeah, so...
You say it was going to get an award? Is that what you
was supposed to get a award, shortlisted for an award.
Oh, shortlisted.
I nearly said his name again, yeah. But
yeah. What happened, don't want to promote it?
But my publisher at the time was gutted, and so there was some politics in the sense of...
What sort of politics?
Racial politics, if you like.
Racial
But I'm a black author. I've just come in the game. I've just done Cheltenham literacy event. I've done Harrogate. I've done... Let me, because I don't even remember.
So you said they was hating on you because you're a black author?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to say that. And I can't talk for what I don't know. But I've done... See, it's so bad. I've got to look it up. Cheltenham, Harrogate, Woolmad Festival, Bearlit Festival, Stoke Newton Festival... These are festivals as authors, you don't just get on. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And to have my books in Cheltenham as well, they didn't, after I did my talk, everyone not only bought a book, but they decided, the shop decided, what's it called? I'm just saying, no, I'm not a reader, you know. Give me the bookstore names. Foils, not Foils, what's the other one? Waterstones, thank you. Sorry, my brain's adrift. Waterstones in Cheltenham bought a whole, like, I think 50 or 100 books of Mama Can't Raise No Man in Prison to the Street. Now, as an author, like, if I was a rapper, yo, brother, you lot talk about me the way you lot talk about Nines. As an author, I've just killed the game, bro. This is before, like, and I don't want to call out people's names, but I know that what I'm doing in the book game has been seen by many, but discussed by few. And that's not even just haters. So there's black people, even certain people in the doing other things in the field. They're writers now, but they never give homage to what it inspired them to want to write.
Okay, you basically paved the way for certain man that's writing now.
And I'm not saying I'm the first.
They never really supported you, but
I'm talking about writers. Not that you've seen Flash, someone write a book for Flash. I've written my own book. Who do you lot know who's written their own book? I'm not saying who do you know as a black person who's got their own book from the hood. Who's written who is the author of their own story?
You know what? It's funny you say that, because when you mention your book, like, I don't know if you wrote it or someone wrote it, like, even like another person's book, I wouldn't even know if they wrote it personally or someone else wrote it. To me, it's like, for me, that's not in the book world. You get me? So
I love that.
From your perspectives, like me, it's like, okay, I thought you might actually got someone to come in and I don't know how it works. You get me? I thought that might just be the way that you go about to get it. Just
and that's why I respect that you know, are saying the things you can say, because I can expand on the answers and conversation. So what's been achieved is that, like, even Amazon Audible has bought the rights. I didn't sell it to them personally because I wouldn't have done that, but big up Amazon anyway for realizing that Prison to the Street and Mama Can't Raise No Man needed to be in Audible version. Now, there's not many, if any, authors I know personally, I don't know any authors, who have had their book, first book written in Amazon of Arts, paid them to do the Audible, read by the author. That's my experience. It's not celebrated in my hood. But these things here, as well as National Prison Radio, my CV, and I don't want to do this where you say, look at what I've done and no one ain't talking about me type of thing. I'm just saying, but I smile about it now because my riches ain't even for earth, bro. My riches are for heaven.
No, 100.
Do you feel what I'm saying to you? So I'm starting to learn that, like, as I get older, your prime is gone in terms of the age where you would have enjoyed having certain things anyway. So if you book blowed 10 years ago and you was given all this money and all the rest of it and your film and whatever, and it got misconstrued, you would have not been satisfied. But God's kept you humble, kept you broke, kept you in the dark, even though you're always in the fucking camera lights, kept you in the dark where you haven't bust the way other people would have prematurely, because now you will not make it and become a cunt. You will not make it and forget you're from Holly Street. You will not make it and not rebuild your ends if you ever get the person like you with God's riches does a lot of God's work. And you're not running for politics, so you don't need to say it to get the people to buy into you, because if you give me money, I know what I'm going to do with it. So not you. So if I've got money right now, I know what I'm going to do with it for the people.
You're already doing a lot with the riches that God gave you.
Yeah, and that's with so when I hear a man tell me that he was going to kill himself, and it's my brethren, and I'm like, bro, you're going to kill yourself after all the shit we've been through. You want to do that? Probably give a man satisfaction. Like, you're crazy. Like, but then there's a deeper understanding to suicide that we have to be more sensitive about. And because of my prisoner mindset, sometimes it's hard for me to relate to. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, yo, the fact that, why would you do that, bro? Like, that's a sign of weakness. Don't let them. It's not a sign of weakness. People break. I told you I was on stage at Hackney Empire. That's a breakdown. No one else might not have identified it. No doctor may not have seen it, but I know that was an out-of-body experience that in my right mind I'm not doing, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's mad. But yeah, Mama Can't Raise No Man for me, for not just the award side of it, a lot of people love Mama Can't Raise No Man more than Prison to the Streets. And this is what cracks me up. like, I thought I was going to be a one-hit wonder, like, bro. That's why I even wrote Mama Can't Raise No Man. There was no real motivation in the beginning. Then something happened, people around me not able to see their youths. So I thought, well, let me tell a story about that. And then I said to myself, but you know you got to go hard again. But you're not going to get as good. It's like coming to America too. How are you going to get a second one to be as interested? You're not an author, bro. You're from the road. So I had a moment of self-doubt. I had the moment that the young guy from the ends has when he doesn't think he's going to be a footballer and becomes a street guy. I almost didn't write Mama Can't Raise No Man because I talked myself out of it. But then I realized, you know what? There's more to you than this. Tap into your creativity. Do your research on the subject. Find the way you want to tell the story. You can do this. You are a writer. You understand the structure, and you know how to put the words in those structure. Like a rapper would know when to put his bars in. And I don't know. I'm so old. I don't even know about bars, 16s or whatever. But he knows when to do a 16 or whatever it is. Me, I know what to do in this. I can't explain why or how. No one taught me, but I have that, and I think it comes from being an empath. So I can relate to my own enemies and see where you're coming from at time. Like I said, I could argue with you right now and go home and be like,
reflect on where you may have been.
I can't stay in just my space I was now, because that's ignorant, bro. And nobody don't grow. So I've got an empathness and the ability to wanna know what's right and wrong within myself. And that's what I'm not saying it helps me get by in life. I haven't mastered it yet, but it helps me gauge where I need to be in this thing called life. So yeah, Mama Can't Raise No Man. I can't wait for someone else to write that film, but that's already a film. I've written many other things that I haven't put out, and again that comes to, I suppose, not finishing the work with this and getting called back into stuff, or people not even realizing, yo, my youth's got more stuff than Prison to the Street, you know. But because we were so bought into the hype of the streets, we didn't realize that he's got a web series that he hasn't put out yet. But like, not when I say people, like, I mean people who could potentially help get it to where it needs to be.
Sometimes it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Sorry?
Sometimes it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
But here the thing again, and I agree with that, but I don't want to keep forgetting, and that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. Bruv, we smashed it, man. Like someone asked me the other day about the book. What is it that you're upset with? I said, it's not the book I'm upset with. You don't think I'm upset with the book, the success of the book? Nah, brother. This book's in most people's yards on their bookshelf. I go to people's yards that I don't even know and see the thing there. I'm not Roald Dahl or J.K. Rowling. I'm from the road, B. I did this by handing out flyers at Carnival and being my own promoter. I did what Master P did and Nipsey doing is selling the thing out the boot.
Like you said, you're not grounded in pavement. You are not grounded in pavement.
Basically.
So you're not from the road.
Sorry, but you know what I mean when I say I'm from the prison mindset. And that prison mindset means that we didn't believe we could even write a book. That prison mindset didn't believe that we had the ability to sit on a platform and converse on subjects of matter and have a voice. That prison mindset stops us from coming out of to do anything, is what I'm saying.
And you was wrong.
So I'm saying that.
You proved yourself wrong.
Yeah, and I'm saying that credit to writing Mama Can't Raise No Man. I want to big up the holy people. Dotting the bio, my first publisher from the Express, BBC presenter on 94.9. There's so much people. He was the first, and Carol Thompson from Lovers Rock. Not Lovers Rock, sorry. Sings Lovers Rock. What's the group called again? Oh God! But Carol Thompson, she was the first person to believe in this book.
Soul to Soul.
Okay. Sorry.
Soul to Soul.
No, it's not Soul to Soul. Lovers Rock. Victor Romero, Carol Thompson. I forgot the other lady's name. My memory's not here today, but I'm not good with people's names. But anyway, they sang in a Lovers Rock group. They sang Lovers Rock music.
Okay.
And she's married to Dotton, and basically she was the first person to believe in this and made Dotton take it serious. And just along the journey, bruv, like, it's mad. Like, even Miguel the singer reposted this one time. One time man gate crushed Wireless, and there was bare celebrities there. My idea was, if I give the book to celebrities, people will buy into it. So I gate crushed the back, gave one to Nas, gave one to Jay-Z. Who did I switch on? I switched on the artist. Was it Kendrick? No, Kendrick was cool. It's someone I switched on because I had a moment like, rah, do you lot think I care that you're fucking celebrities? And this is why I know something's wrong with me. They think I wanted to be famous and hold that, talk about my thing. No, it's not about me. And this is what I think where I did get lost sometimes in my actions. People were like, what's this guy on? Is he trying to be famous, giving his book? No, I believe in the power of the concept of this book. So again, was I disappointed with the sales of the book? No, we fucking killed it. That's why Amazon fucking Audible bought the fucking Prison to the Street.
Yeah.
We did it. We sold the book before we even did Hackney Empire.
How do you feel?
So sorry to just land this part here before I forget, because I'm going to forget. I'm kind of talking to myself as well, because it's like I forget these things have happened. I'm saying that Prisoner to the Street, where my disappointment was, I think, was that people didn't understand the concept. So moving on to Freedom from the Street, not even Mama Can't Raise No Man, because that got a lot of love. I cannot say that that book has not gone crazy as well. Freedom from the Street was the explanation to this, but it didn't get as much attention as this. And it's not because it wasn't written better than this, because I've improved as a writer. It's because the hype wasn't involved of having beef with this one and that one. But so it made me start.
Did all the same promotion go into all of the books?
Yeah. And not even all the same. Not the same. What happens is, when you set a tone, you don't really have to re-promote yourself again.
No?
Do you understand? No, when I say, so when I wrote Prison to the Street, the following was still there enough for me to release Mama Can't Raise No Man and sell out name. It's not like, oh, who's this guy we're coming to? No, he wrote that. We're coming to that. You know, and then after you write Prisoner and Mama, oh, he wrote this and this. If you read the reviews on Amazon, it's not that everyone said this guy wasn't a one-hit wonder. Man called me the Black Shakespeare in one of the reviews. So I'm saying that we improved. Even when I look at Mama Can't Raise No Man now, like a rapper or a musician, I'm like, nah, I could have gone harder. I rushed it because it was hurting my head to be so much different people at the same time. I just wanted to finish the story. And I even read it in a review on Amazon. One woman said the book was amazing. As a single black man, but I learned so much about womanhood, how to treat the brothers in my family. So the stuff I'm writing is not just entertainment, it's life-changing. It's empowering people from a different angle. It's giving them something. So I'm like, cool.
Because even Prisoner to the Streets, I feel like it can talk to your I feel like it's very highlighted towards criminals, but it can touch a lot of people that are not criminals, because it's about how you react to things. Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot of people that can learn on how they react to things. So the reason why I think Prison to the Streets it's not just about the criminal lifestyle of it. It's about how you react to things and how you change yourself.
Your emotions
and how you respond to things. So that's why it's just like the average person that's got the 9 to 5 can also do that. How they reacting at work,
of course,
may change. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone, and the funny thing is, everyone's a prisoner. Everyone's a prisoner to something.
Yeah, that's it.
So we might have had the issue of prison to the street. Some people have got issues of prisoner to to drink. Prisoner to what's that word? Narcissism. So you might be a narcissist and you don't even know you're a prisoner to. It's like just so much things you could be.
A lot of it comes from the streets. Do you know what I'm saying? Even because the streets doesn't care about your money. We all have some sort of streets that we have to go out to, even if we're rich or poor.
I'm gonna go on further and stop saying the streets. What I'm gonna say is the system, the government.
100%.
I'm not gonna say the streets no more. Because the streets is a reflection of those leaders in control of their country.
100%.
So I'm going to stop focusing on the streets and make us like we're the problem. So again, this was only about decriminalizing. It was making people from all backgrounds read it, because you're not reading a criminal story. You're reading a human being story. So thank you again.
100%. That's what I get from it. It's not just about, you can give that to anyone and it can help them with how they deal with things.
Someone's journey to overcome.
Even I wrote a script last year called Cain and Abel, and when I wrote it, I was like, oh, this is cold, modern day Cain and Abel. But what I wanted to teach from that, not just about sibling rivalry, I wanted to teach mental health. So everything I write is kind of got a little, you get me? So it's like, even there's a book I'm writing, big up my sister Simone. I wrote this book years ago, but she's coming to help me finish it, because I start so many books and then I get distracted and do something else. But I nearly finished a book called Daddy's Little Girl, girls that have been abused, and we don't like to talk on that subject, so I decided to talk on it. So it's like, it's another powerful book. I don't want to say too much, but it's not just about the abuse side of it. That's the selling point. So in a sense of violence isn't the selling point.
Yeah.
So it's the undertone. It's the what you can take from it. It's not the what, and that's how I'm always gonna work.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, so people can gain something from it and grow.
Yeah, there's never gonna be a story. And big up, fucking hell, sorry. Rest in peace, John Singleton.
Rest up.
Because without knowing who, someone asked me one time, who inspires you? In the lane you're in, there's no one, Robyn. Like, you're not a rapper who's looking up to another rapper from another time. You're not who are you looking up to? Mallory Blackman. You've never read their book. Who are you looking up to? Benjamin Zephaniah. I won't say I'm looking up to him, but I'm respecting him because he's a black man in my image. So I see myself in him. I see, you know what I mean, other than he's got dreadlocks. And to know that he's a writer, I'm like, well, cool. But the road that I came from, the world that I come from, to come out of that kind of book, if you like, the streets are just the book, it was just the story. And to now live in another story and be able to write other stories, for me is like a whole new world to me, is what I'm saying to you. And it's like, it feels like a privilege, and I didn't realize it before, but I guess it's kind of I have a responsibility, and that's why I don't like lots of films and stories out there that represent us as black people, and that's why I love John Singleton. He wrote stories that reflected the human side, and I think he, without knowing it, I think he was my inspiration, and I didn't realize. I didn't realize how much I learned from him.
Did he write books as well?
No, he wrote films. Baby Boy. He wrote Poetic Justice. He wrote Boys in the Hood.
So there's not really no book authors that really inspired you to write the books, really, would you say?
Book authors, who do I know? Again, that's what I'm saying. This is why for me,
because you went to America, and John Singleton's from America, isn't it? So I thought there must be some book authors from America as well. So I thought maybe, possibly. But no, that's who you got your inspiration.
I like, but he's now. The guy who did Money and Violence. But I've never read his book in saying that. But I heard he's got 3 books as well. Rafe, the guy who wrote Money and Violence.
Okay.
I heard he's got 3 books. So big up Rafe, yeah.
I ain't never heard.
But I don't know about, so I got a brethren, big up a Mecca from Hackney, he's an author. He's written 3 books. I don't know why people don't know about him.
Big up a Mecca.
But I can't honestly say that there's anyone who's not only inspired me in the lane and then, but made me want to. So like, if you look at the film game, so let's say I put out a film tomorrow, a man might say, oh, he's probably inspired by the likes of, what's that guy's name? The one who did Kid Up, big up Femi, my brethren as well, it's cool. No Clark, whatever he's, no Clark. So all these guys, some might say to me, was you inspired by these writers? Like, with all due respect, not at all, in the slightest. And that's not a disrespect to them. Like, big up everybody, like, and I mean that sincerely. I'm just saying that I came from a time where I was watching house parties, it's like you're asking me, do I like drill music? Bruv, I grew up in so the level of film that I want to go on to write can't be mediocre in terms of the shit that I've seen growing up. So I got to do something that I would want to watch when I was younger. And all I'm saying is that there's not much English films that do that for me. So not to diss anyone, I'm just saying that if my film don't do that for myself, I'll diss it myself. Because I feel like we can do better. And that's why I love John Singleton, literally love him, because I realised what he did as a writer. Spike Lee, love these guys. And because I'm an author, it's hard to say they inspired me as an author, but in terms of the film world, I would definitely be taking a leaf out of those man's book when it comes to being creative. Facts.
100%, yeah, they're big filmmakers, definitely. 100%. All right, I've heard you mention a couple times in the interview, or this podcast, should I say, God. How did God help? When did your relationship start with God? Where did God help you with breaking these chains that you've been fighting all your life?
I haven't broken all of them.
I know you.
These ones, Some other stuff I got going on.
What you part of a religion? What are you supposed to take?
No,
what were you saying?
See, even when you said God, it threw me a bit because the word God is a Greek word and all the rest of it. And
all right, so that's what I said. All right,
yeah, I don't want to get too.
Just break down your.
So I didn't want to get too. When you said God, I don't like to get too specific.
What do you believe in then?
I believe in the Creator first and foremost, and I believe in a lot of what the Bible teaches. A massive amount of what it teaches. I don't believe in it in its word for word, but I believe in a massive amount, the morals, the values, the concept, and the ideologies, whether you want to believe it or not, and even the Quran. There's lots of concepts, but for me, it's all one book. For me, it's all one book. There's no religion. There's one creator. I think the rest of it's a bit of a division, but I don't want to get into religion debate. What I'll say to you is this: I first met God, or the creator, when I was created, just like everyone else. But we first built a relationship. It says in the Bible, when you take a step towards me, I take two towards you. When I decided that I'm not going to be concerned with manhood's perception of what this book says, but I am going to seek for my own understanding and knowledge. Not from no pastor, not from no TD Jakes, not from nobody.
When did you have this concept from the start? Or?
When I was in jail in Jamaica. From a youth, the church has heavily been in my house, but I hated it. With a passion. I hated gospel. I hated. That's because I don't even want to get into this. That's because as a child we were forced to read the Bible for a little while, because my pops got killed. And I think my mum was having a bit of a breakdown, so she was like, "Yo, you just went into one." But I don't want to really get into that. So I think that I've never really liked the Bible. I never liked the idea as a child of this whole, if somebody dies and they're not a Christian or they're not a Muslim, they're not following the right religion, that they don't go to heaven. And I don't believe that no creator would create that. So for me, I've always believed that you have to seek and you'll find. So although the one thing, everything was telling me not to read this white Jesus book, we know that Jesus isn't a white man's name, and there's no white people in that area, so let me try to get some form of information from this. And even if it is basic instructions before leaving Earth, let me find some moral compass. So when I was in jail in Jamaica, I started delving into the Bible and praying and feeling protected, but not on a, it wasn't an ego thing. It was like, what was the prayer? Psalm, ye though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I shall fear no evil, for thy comfort, their smile, comfort me, and surely in goodness and mercy shall follow me the days of my life. But obviously I gotta be good to get that side, innit? So I was in jail and I was realising, like, so one guy fucked with me in the first couple of days, or the first day, and then I see him when I got shipped out later on, and I wanted to fuck him up, and I looked at him and I did the most godliest thing. I was like, next time you see a foreigner come in this jail, don't say nothing to him, remember me, you know, because I could have really annihilated you. I got all these Kingston men behind me when I was in that prison. I had beef with them and then made friends with them. Like, I could have really fucked your shit up. And where we're all locked in the same dormitory, it would have been curtains. I wouldn't have got an extra day on my sentence for it. So I learned that from the Bible, treat your neighbour as you want to be treated. Do unto others you want others to do unto you. Just because someone wrongs you don't mean you need to wrong them. That's probably what turn the other cheek means. It doesn't mean let yourself get bullied and smacked every day. Like that, I started to not take it as how people who don't believe in it will judge and criticize and mock it. I took myself out of everyone's opinion. I want a relationship with you. I don't give a fuck about how other people see any religion. That's their opinion. I'm trying to get to you. And if I can get to you, which is seeming impossible at times even today, it's like, if I can align myself with that goodness, then I could do more goodness. That's it, bro. And if we die, none of us know whether there's heaven. Hopefully there is, and like Tupac said, Thugs Mansion, hopefully I see you lot there as well.
There's a Thug Mansion.
I see you there. Place where everyone smoke weed and not weed.
So you say
just drink and everyone's cool.
Is the book part of your journey then?
Sorry?
Is your book part of the journey there while you're here on the earth? Purpose?
I believe so. I believe that this wasn't, I don't believe this is anything I want to do from the get-go. And that's why I tried to get the support of someone when I wrote it. I didn't want to be this guy. Don't like that.
You didn't want to be right here in front of the camera.
I was that guy on the road. Imagine when you're younger and you know that people know who you are and you think you're that guy on the road. I moved to Wolverhampton at 17 because my name was too bait.
Okay.
Do you understand how bait you have to be to want to move out of London at 17?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is, like, people pretend they don't know my story or I'm invisible in Hackney, but my whole point is that I had to get away to silence my name. So why the fuck would I come back years later and make my name, try and promote my name again in my fucking book? It's crazy. So I know it's.
You're coming back on
I know it's.
So
no, I'm saying it's.
Yeah,
not.
On, that's good. Yeah,
it's not me, bro. I'm saying that it's something bigger than me.
Bigger than you.
Yeah, that I'm not. You see here, man's being controlled by the string. It's like this isn't a control. This is like I'm being carried. Like that footprints poster back in the day. And enough time I'm doing this, I'm like, yeah, I'm one up, I'm doing this. But no, there's a whole heap of soldiers who haven't even written a book who are out here caring about these youths with the same heart that you care about these youths. There's a whole heap of people who are out here don't get credit for the things that they do. They don't even have social media. And all the people that ain't doing it get praised and worshipped, and they don't do half of the things that you and those people do. But what you gotta be more focused on is your connection with the Most High. And that's what, for me, at the moment, I'll be honest, I'm always real, I wouldn't say I'm the closest to the Most High. I would just say that I'm being obedient enough to continue these conversations. I'm being obedient enough to keep pushing. But in my own life as like 2021, am I happy where I am mentally, emotionally, and to the Creator? I don't feel serving the way I could be, because I've been more connected before.
What would that place be?
You've been more connected before, you say?
More compassion. Sometimes my heart gets cold. Real cold in a sense. Not evil, like detached. Just don't care about anything. It's facts. And I had to become that way, desensitized. Like every time I married a kid was dying when I was writing this book, I had to take it to heart. So I started to switch off and not give a shit. But then I'm still knowing that you start getting killed, and it's like, fuck me, how do I stay? And then I practiced that for a couple of years. I've been doing this for years. So when you're connected, and even rest in peace, Carl, like my youth worker friend Carl. I don't like meeting new friends. New friends means that there's going to be new deaths. I came off the street mindset because I was losing friends in the street, and that's painful. So I don't want to make new friends in the future off of the back of the work I'm doing, and then watch these motherfuckers die. Because I'm still damaged by that. I'm not open, bro.
You got a little fear inside of you.
I don't want people close. I've had to work on that shit. So, because you have people close, they're going to die. If they die before you, got to live with that hurt. As a youth, I've had no one. So I've come up where there's no parents. You get what I'm saying to you? So when people talk shit, bro, it's long, man. Because I feel like I'm going to start getting distracted and saying some other thing. It's just long. I'm just saying that for me, this was never a journey I wanted to do. And I feel like God, if this might be even not vain saying, I don't know what the word is, or a bit precautious, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but there's a word. Sorry? Pretentious in saying this. But I feel God loves me because He knows I could have walked away from this and made money other ways, and not maddened myself by keep trying to get people to understand. It's not look at me, I'm right. Look at me, what I'm saying, this is right.
God loves you because you're still here.
Yeah, that's it.
And I feel God loves me, for all those reasons. And all the connections I have now. But like I said to you, my fear has always been new friends. I'm not on it. I've got people that they'll tell you, Robyn's my guy. And so when the last time you spoke to him? About 2-3 years ago. But that's my brother.
Yeah.
Now, why is it 2-3 years ago? Because Robyn don't really let everybody get close to him.
But you would say he's your brother as well,
Of course, he's my fucking brother. But I don't want to get too close to him because it's the taking the loss. So I'm saying to you, when you ask if I'm whole, no, I'm not whole from this story. No way, not at all.
It seems like it was part of your healing process in itself. You actually going through this, from what you was talking about, and stages that you've been through. It helped you actually.
I think it helped me. You just said it, and you just taught me something by saying what you said. I don't think it healed me. It taught me that I needed to be healed. Because if I didn't do all of that investigating about traumas and all this shit, I just think it's the way it is. It's life, innit? Hold it up, keep your chin up, cuz. Like that prison mentality. What? It is what it is, cuz. Yeah. It is what it is, life, innit? You get me? Yeah. I would have had that mentality. And no pain, nothing, no hurt. Go to funerals, smoking weed, pouring drink. It's the hood, cuz. No, it's real life. It's real life. That's what I'm saying. It's real life, B.
Definitely. 100%. So, alright, cool. So Jay, what you got? Anything to say, Jay, before we finish this up?
Man, we're gonna have to do another part to this one.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to do another part. I know you got your movie. Let
come down all the time. We'll come down. We don't even. We'll come do it tomorrow. Just phone me. You know what I mean? Because this is us,
man.
Let
the people know what's coming in the future, innit?
Okay. Where was I? My head just swayed. What's coming?
We got the movies.
We got. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say it's all in God's hands. What's gonna happen? All the craze, and in the sense of I've got my plans, and I've learned this from saying what's gonna happen, and it doesn't happen. My intentions is to put out the film. Robyn's intentions, don't know what that plan is. Robyn's intentions is to do a lot of things. The board game for Prison to the Street, even that we didn't even talk about. Man made a board game. You know what, brother?
I ain't gonna forget about the board game,
bro. You know what's mad on this journey? You can achieve so much, but because it's not got to where you want it to get to, you forget what you've done.
Is the board game complete or is
the board game? I left it with Felton Prison. I had one board game. I only done one copy. So crazy. It was stupid, but it was my heart again. I've left the prisoners with the one prototype I've had. I spent the whole night cutting out the money with my face on and the whole thing of it, the rules. Took it to Felton. Did a talk and said, okay, I've got a few more things I want you lot to add on to this board game, but I gave them the rules and the concept. Yeah, and then I forgot I only had one copy of the game, so I didn't get to reprint and I didn't get to do the things I wanted to do. This was December, just gone.
Okay, so it's recent.
2 months, 3 months ago, yeah.
Some people's gonna be seeing the board game coming out officially then, soon. This
Again?
Year. End of this year, we say.
Nothing's in Rob's hands, man. Rob's out here. Rob's out. I'll say it like this.
Whose board game is it?
Whose board game, sorry?
Whose board game is it?
Mine.
It's his.
Then it's with you and God, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're working with the.
You know what I mean? You don't know what I mean.
And you're working with the creator, innit? So
yeah, I hear you. Say no more. Everything's out. You know what? I'm working with a big man. What am I saying? Everything's coming out this year. Film, board game. The book's gonna be in the modules at university. God willing, again on the curriculum. Yeah, I'm going mad. I'm working with the big man, so yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. Just it's not my timing, but it's definitely all gonna happen. So yeah, it's gonna be good. And then I'm looking forward to being again out of my comfort zone. I want to write, like, I've all got a comedy horror film, brother. Like I want to play with a pen in terms of film and book. I don't want to neglect books. Okay, so I want to be at a stage in my life where before I'm 40, I can say that I'm dropping, like, I don't know, I said it before I wrote this down, a film and a book at least. Yeah, at least. I'm not rushed either. So I know the concept before I start writing. That's how I am before most of my work. I don't pick up a pen until I know what I'm about to write about. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're going in the future. We're just gonna start playing with the pen. And yeah, man, and we wanna, whatever doors open for us, we wanna be able to bring in other people to experience with their own talent another way out of that prison.
I was going to say, what advice would you give a young person that's a writer or that wants to become an author?
For one, holler me, man. Just Instagram, official Trav. So holler me directly. You get free advice. I ain't charging you like them, you know, back in the day you got the phone box and your money ran out after a minute. I ain't charging you. We just chat, man. Just phone me.
Was
like,
there criteria for this advice, or is this open
I've been for years. I've just been doing this. People DM me on socials and say they want to write kids. I don't see them. I'll be like, yo, just phone me. And they get my number and we talk. And then a couple years later, man's got a book. Woman's got a book. That's what I'm saying. What man's done, without having to keep talking about what man's done, in terms of contributing to a lot of things. There's a lot of books outside of this subject that Robyn's been able to help other people get out there, not because I've written the book for them, but because I've encouraged. I've told them they can do it. I've set the way by doing it. And they've come out now with their own books, and now they're gonna do that for someone else. It's called a Black Renaissance of writing. We're creating what we're doing here. So we talk about Murky, Stormzy books, Murky or whatever. And I can't remember who else. Carla, my brethren, Carla Foreman said, bro, it's because of you why man wrote the book still. So I'm like, right, you mean to tell me I'm inspiring them, man? But no one knows what Robyn's doing. Like, we've been inspiring, and that's why me and King's the same age. So it's like, hold on a minute, you're inspiring man your own age, you're inspiring man younger than you, you're inspiring man older than you. I've had adults, people say adults like after their child, they're adults to me because they watch me grow up. People tell me they're going to write their books, and those stories are key. Because black people at that time don't like to talk about shit. Everything's under the... And we never knew the traumas our parents went through before they even had to raise us. So we talk about our traumas, but there's a lot of stories that ain't been written. And I think it's important in terms of us collectively fixing a lot of our problems. You can't fix something if you don't know about it. So I will always be book and film. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the future, man. I'm looking forward to even stopping writing and just taking a 5-year break because I've done that much work. Looking forward to it all, man. I'm just living in every day, finishing this interview, done in it, and then just kicking back and enjoying that moment. Like, I'm getting to a point where I'm learning to live in the moment and not in the past too much.
Appreciate every
and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
But yeah, man, I want to ask you a question before we go anywhere.
Yeah, come on.
What's your plans, B? Because I'm loving this podcast setup, so I want to know, what's your plans going forward, man?
What's my plans going forward right now?
Yeah, what can we expect as views for this show, B? You don't know where you don't even favourite on the presenter. What can we expect? You know, what's happening?
Right now, we're just bringing in people like yourself, other people that's inspiring in the community, and trying to bring a message that's going to inspire others to break from, the mold. So every angle, each angle, relationships, your prison to the streets, might have someone talking about religion. Anyway, it's just part of it, innit? All the dots connect, and we all connect. That's why we're here right now, through the creator. And that's why we got Jay, we got Mary, we got the audience behind right now.
Robyn, another prison to the street problem that we have here is we don't promote our brands,
What, sorry?
We don't promote our brands. You see that nice clothing that is wearing?
And we're just promoting this, the sponsors to this.
Forward now. Nice.
You know what?
And I asked him what's he doing and he didn't even mention it.
I'll tell you why, because that's part of the prisoner aspect. You know why? Because sometimes when you're in the streets and then you're promoting something, people might have a little red eye towards you. So sometimes you might see me wear my thing and I don't even promote it. Why? Because from experience in my life, I've been like, yo, just like you was thinking before, like, wow, if that was me, like, I would be like, but they don't do that. So rather than me put it out there and be like, wow, I put it out there and they ain't done that, I just do my thing, you get me? You know?
No. But you said something that made me have to want to big up myself a bit more because you just reminded me.
Come on.
He said about relationships. I got a relationship book that I started writing called Meet Me at the Altar. And what's funny about that book is that it's creative. I've written it a book out of chapters out of love songs, bro. Like, I feel like the guy on this author thing because the books I'm writing are so different to your traditional books. So we're playing with it, and then I need to write a book before I take a break. I keep talking about this book. I've talked about it with you. Sure, I've talked about it with you as well. But this is a book I keep saying is going to be the book I write before I take 5 years break. My Brother's Divided. Imagine that I've all got the titles and the themes for how the book goes already. And that was about black history and religion and trying to get us to form under one rather than debating about all the rest of it. So that will be my part where I'm like, yo, I feel like I don't ever need to do a book again. Everything else is just a bonus. But I've reached my target of what I want. 5 or 6 books, and then I'm chatting shit. There's bare kids books I wanted to write as well, but that's another story. There's a kids selection as well for secondary school. So the future is, when God gives us the platform, we're going to continue and do another podcast, but it's going to be just for authors, and probably going to do it with Jay, and it's going to be, I haven't even mapped it out because the last one I did was so draining, but since we're live I'm going to say it. It's about me as author bringing in other authors, the same authors I'm talking about who have been inspired to write books and making our own platform, bro. Because like I say, I don't even really remember Waterstones when we had the interview. Like, what's that shop called again? Waterstones. I'm not really bothered about the industry, bro. That's how you could tell when someone came in to be something or to be something. I'm not from the book world. I don't really know about Waterstones. I've never gone and bought. As a youth, I bought a CD from Our Press. I've never gone to Waterstones in my life to buy a book, so it was never going to be like, I wish I had my book in Waterstones. But to have it in Waterstones is a massive achievement. To have it in Foyles in was it Charing Cross 2 years ago, they had 50 copies 100 copies on the front thing next to, what's that author's name? Some middle class, well-known white author. But I'm saying to you, it was good when I brought my children into that shop and got them to see those books. It wasn't the fact that it was in there, it was the fact that to see the world that you've been told is not reachable for you. It's very reachable, but even if you don't reach there, you don't need there to be great. That doesn't make you a great author that you got into foils, or it's just like everyone always wants to be accepted by a certain class, if you like. I'm not doing things to be accepted by. I don't give a shit what you stand for. Your thing's too materialistic anyway. You're too shallow-minded anyway. Your thing doesn't find the true talent anyway, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying to you? So, yeah, bro, I'm looking forward to killing this game, and I'll leave it there, man.
Definitely, we're all looking forward to it too, man.
Ready, killing
ready.
The game. You ready, killing the game?
Ready. If I was Noriega, I'll blow the horn thing right now. Yeah. You see the maddest thing before we go, yeah? Big up Noriega, yeah? If Noriega had a man like me on Drink Champs and I've said all the things I've said, bruv, like you lot have been going, the round of applauses, we would have been getting that years ago, is what I'm saying. Like are you for real? Word?
Our whole existence in this country is new.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? I had a conversation with, who was I speaking to? Someone about that earlier. Who was I talking to? Was it one of you lot? Yeah, that's very, no, it wasn't. You're right. We're fresh. It wasn't. It was my sister Gina. We're fresh. We're historical. We are the first black-born British. So in 100 years' time, they're going to be looking back at now and saying how black people adapted to Britain in 2021 and 1990s and NWA, and they were listening to Chris Cross.
We don't have these issues that we're talking about
now we're calling the royal family racist, like we didn't know they were.
Yeah, they done being racist from people acting like that shit.
Bro, I thought they were German or whatever they're from. I want to see that documentary. I don't want to see the other I didn't even watch the others that other people will be watching. I want to see the one where you go on Oprah Winfrey and you do the DNA test and tell me where you're from. That's all I want to know.
That's why Oprah Winfrey's on tag.
I'm not involved. I'm not involved.
I don't know.
Alright.
People,
yeah. He'll say a lot of things behind the camera. He'll say a lot of things behind the camera. And then we'll forget because we're on camera and we'll start getting involved. Then the Queen's seeing our face. And the Queen's like, Robyn ain't getting that MB no more.
Pause.
And neither is Flash. And you're gonna fuck up my MB thing and you know I want my head out, shit. Listen. Love, man. Flash.
Robyn's pleasure to have you, man. Definitely want to give you back.
We're coming back. Every book we're coming back.
Keep pushing, keep inspiring, keep doing your thing, yo. The truth and banter, yo, people, we out.
Whole time out.